Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. I am Dr. Sathia Zafar and today we will discuss about the herbarium. What is herbarium? A collection of dried. As we know that herbarium is a collection of preserved plant specimens and associated data used for scientific study. The term can also refer to building or room where the specimens are housed or to the scientific institute that not only stores but uses them for research. In herbarium, mostly plants, it is based on a scientific collection in How to make a herbarium? For making herbarium, collecting of plants, choose good representative. Collect specimens in dry conditions. A good time being mid-morning after the dew has dried, but before the heat of day causes plants to wilt. If specimens are at all wet or you need to wash soil off the roots, then dry them carefully before pressing of plants. Use a pencil for these notes rather than a pen because any damp or wetness can cause ink to smudge and be unreadable. And we need some material for collection of plants which are mentioned here. Next step is pressing and drying of the plants after collection of plants. Plants must be cleaned before pressing. They must also be put in a plastic bag. If it is hot, then must be watered to be fresh. Place your plant between folded out sheets of newspaper, although the grease-proof paper is preferable for delicate material. When you have finished arranging the specimens within newspaper sheets or whatever combination of papers you have chosen, you then need to intersperse them between corrugated card sheets to aid ventilation, and finally place everything in your press and tighten well. For the first 2 to 4 days, you will need to check daily and change the blotting paper and or other surrounding papers and re-tighten the press, but as plants dry, these checks can become less frequent. Warmth may be used to improve the drying rate. An oven set at 50 degrees Celsius may be used, but the heat must be no higher, otherwise the specimen will become very brittle and damaged. Plant press, newspaper, grease-proof paper, blotting paper, and the corrugated cards are needed for pressing of specimens. Herbarium formation. All specimens should be clearly marked with a collection number and should be starting with 1 and maintaining a sequential list for life. Never use same number twice, and collectors should keep a field notebook in pencil or indelible ink if you are on an extended field trip, having your field book photocopied periodically. Some researchers also enter their collection data into a computer at the time of collection. Others wait until later and transcribe the data from their field notebook. Specimens are worthless without the collection data, and every specimen number should be listed in the field notebook along with appropriate collection data, which will eventually go on the specimen's label. You should need some material like newspaper, field notebook, pencil, top to press, and some other material at the field for collection of plants. This figure is representing that how can you place your specimen after collection in the field. Herbarium cabinet. Herbarium vouchers are usually stored in steel cabinets that are designed to protect the vouchers from insect and other damaging influences. Doors usually close tightly on the gasket-like material to form an essentially airtight seal, and internal shelves allowing sorting of the specimen. There is a figure that is showing that how can you place your specimen after collection. The cardboard, then the ventilator, then blotter paper, and then place the specimen into the folded newspaper, then again put the blotter paper and cardboard ventilator, and in this way you should place all the specimen according to this arrangement. Pressing plants. Place each plant between one sheet of folded newspaper, only one specimen per newspaper sheet. Mark the edge of each newspaper to identify it with a specimen in your field notes. Keep the size of herbarium sheet in mind. If your specimen is small, you will need several to fill the sheets. Make sure all specimen fits inside the newspaper. If necessary, plants should be folded neatly in an N or inverted V so it will fit inside the specimen sheets for pressing. Turn leaves and flowers up and down so both sides can be seen when glued. Load the plant press. Don't put more than 3 newspaper between blotter paper, and don't put more than 3 blotter sheets between the cardboard dividers. Tighten the press and don't disturb. Your specimen must be completely dry before mounting. Plant must be protected from fungal growth until drying process is over. If air temperature is high and relatively humidity low, then all that is necessary to dry the plant specimen well is to place the plant press where it will receive some natural ventilation and tighten the press straps each day. They loosen when the plants inside dry and shrink. If conditions are such that little or no natural drying occurs, cool temperatures and high relative humidity, then a heat source should be applied. In any cases, ventilation of plant press is important in order to remove the water vapor rising from plant specimens, and especially to vent water vapor from corrugations of. A simple dryer consists of an open-ended plywood box or with or without a bottom, measuring 46 cm long, 35 to 60 cm wide and at least 30 cm high, to allow for proper air circulation. Dryer should have a small air vent cut near the base or should be raised slightly off the ground if bottom of the dryer is absent. A 100-watt bulb is placed in the bottom of dryer on an aluminium pile, plate or fire resistant pad. The pressing is placed on edge lengthwise across the dryer's open top but cardboard placed alongside to block the air spaces. This will cause warm air within dryer to be forced through the press and depending on the moisture in plant samples. Collection sheets will dry in 24 to 48. Mounting plants. Herbarium sheets measure 23 into 14, completely cover a tray or glass plate with a layer of thin Elmer's white glue. Glue a herbarium card to the lower right hand corner of a herbarium sheet and decide how you will position your plant on the herbarium sheet. Carefully lay your specimen in the glue on the tray and don't push the specimen down into the glue. Lift specimen from the glue and place it on the herbarium sheet, pressing the plant gently against sheet. For specimen with thick stem or fruit, run a bead of arches cement. Place the finished sheet flat on a lap table to dry. Next step is the mounting. Cartridge paper for mounting your specimens should preferably be A3 size and acid free. Weight should be a minimum 180 gram per square meter and ideally with a rough textured surface. Using only one side of your thick A3 cartridge paper, arrange your specimens carefully, making sure that they represent the way plants grow naturally. There is an example for labeling of herbarium sheet. On the herbarium sheet with the specimen, you should mention the scientific name of that plant and the common name and the collector name or specimen number and date of collection and the locality where you have taken these specimens and the habitat of that location and habit and characteristics of that specimen. Mounting and stitching. The standard size of herbarium sheet is 29 into 42 cm. They are usually made of durable card sheets. The dried specimens are glued on herbarium sheets and the stem or branches can be stitched or pasted with an other material like glue or tape. It is advisable to mount one specimen on each herbarium sheet. The dissected or loose parts such as flowers, fruits and seeds are kept in paper pockets and pasted to the mounted sheet. There is a sheet. According to that, you can make your labels for each specimen of the herbarium. There is a list. Then how can you label the specimen. First of all, you should mention the name of organization with which specimen plant originated, the name of family, botanical name of plant, local name and locality of the collection, date of collection, habitat of the plant, field notes and collection number and name of the collectors, and at the end you should mention the some characteristics of that plant. Filling and storing. Plant specimens which have been properly mounted and identified are filled systematically in special wooden or steel cabinets. The herbarium sheets loaded with specimens are filled inside the folders, which are of various color schemes indicating the species, genus, family, geographical area, etc. Plants are arranged and stored following Bantam and Hooker's or Engel and Prandtl system of classification. A periodical fumigation with chemicals and repoisoning them by brushing with solution of mercury chloride and using the insect repellents would save the herbarium from damage and check the loss of valuable plants and data of the herbarium. This figure is representing the storing of herbarium. Herbarium cards. Much of the formal information needed for herbarium card is available from collector's field notebook. Correct identification of specimen is extremely important at this point. Care must be taken to ensure the plant is labeled with correct identity. Storing mounted plants. Ideally, mounted plants are stored in humidity and temperature controlled rooms that are protected from insect infestation. Since we don't have that, we will store the mounts in boxes with mothballs to protect them. There are some herbaria that are present around the globe. The Natural History Museum that is present in London, England, UK, and the Harvard University that is located in Cambridge, USA, and Museum of Natural History of Vienna that is in Austria, and Swedish Museum of Natural History that is in Sweden, and the United States National Herbarium in USA, and the National Herbarium Netherlands which is located in Netherlands, and Chinese National Herbarium present in Beijing, China. This figure is clearly showing the herbarium, and you can notice that how plants are preserved on the herbarium sheets and how plants are properly arranged into the different cabinets and are labeled. What is the role of herbarium? To act as a repository of dried plant specimens, safeguard them against loss and destruction by fungi, insects, etc., and make them available for study. Several herbaria of repute keep type specimens, the principal proof of existence of a species, in safe custody, often in rooms with restricted access, as original documents upon which knowledge of taxonomic characters. Herbarium specimens greatly help in developing the floras, manuals, and monographs. Those engaged in taxonomic studies can personally identify their engaged collection by comparison with already identified herbarium specimens. Voucher specimens preserved in various herbaria provide an index of specimens on which studies on chromosomes and phytochemistry, ultrastructure, micromorphology, etc. have been undertaken. Most herbaria have specimens collected from different parts of the world, and thus their scrutiny can provide information on the geographical distribution of taxa. Uses of herbarium. Herbarium collections can have great significance and value to science and have a large number of uses. Herbaria are essential for study of plant taxonomy and the study of geographic distribution, thus stabilizing the nomenclature, and specimen housed in herbaria may be used to catalogue or identify the flora of an area. Herbaria also preserve a historical record of change in vegetation over time. Herbaria have also proven very useful as sources of plant DNA for use in taxonomy and molecular systematics. They may also be a repository of viable seeds for rare species. The largest herbarium of the Pakistan is National Herbarium Islamabad, that was established in 1975 with Dr. Ralph Rankless Stewart's collection as its initial beginning. It has a collection of over 100,000 plants, and the plants in herbarium are divided into the magnoliophytes, dicotyledons, and monocotyledons, and gymnosperms and theriodophytes, that are ferns, and they are placed according to families, genera, and species arranged in alphabetical order. So it's all about the herbarium, and there are some references. And thank you so much, dear students, for your kind attention.